welcome along to another episode of A Slice of Golf, the bonus edition, the weekly bonus edition for the Fantasy League for DraftKings, looking at who we are picking in this week's event and also looking at how we did last week. Spoiler alert, I'm still shit at joining me as ever is obviously Tim and Benjamin Fowlis. So let's dive straight in. Let's look at the RBC Heritage. I'm going to level with you guys. I watched very little of the golf until the final night, but I'm going to start with. Actually, no. Before we do this, let's do the recap of the Sunday Red winners in the league. So we had. By the way, if you're just tuning in, we are doing this live. So if you're tuning in, if you're here, say hi. We will be able to see your comments pop up, so I'll be able to see those. Say hi. Let us know how you did, and let us know who you are picking for this week. So in the $2 league for last week, we had Scott McDonald with a win, Chris Wells in second, and Christopher David. I'm pretty sure that's his teacher Facebook name, although I'm not 100% sure. In third. In the free entry, Chris Wells coming in first, Christopher David coming in second, and Richie184, who I don't know who you are. Apologies, you've obviously not been in the winner's circle before. Otherwise, I would have reached out and tried to find you. But congratulations for finishing third in the free entry. I'm just going to do it now. The spoiler alert for the slice of golf. Ben didn't win for once, which was lovely. So that's fantastic news. However, he came second. Tim came first, and myself in third place. Before we dive into team performance, can I just say, have you got the lineup of how close we were? Have you got the points?
Yeah, I do.
I believe I was like 4 points behind Tim from finishing.
It was closer than that.
Yeah.
We were coming down the final stretch on Sunday night, and at multiple times in the evening there was 1 point between myself and Ben, and I think it basically came down to Corey Connors, right? How he was going.
I had a look, and if he'd have stayed in his current position, the rest of the leaderboard had stayed the same. All he needed to do was par out, and he would have built up enough points. And I think we would have tied. And at that point, I was like, he's clearly playing really well. He was on 13 under, I think, at the time. One more birdie over the final 5 holes. That will see me home and hosed, but wasn't to be.
Wait, Tim, I'm going to make this even better. Tim, what was the difference between you and me in third?
5.5 points.
5.5 points. If Morikawa had birdied one more hole, I'd have won. Because he would have jumped from 11th to 10th, which would have been an extra 6 points on top of his birdie point. I would have won by half a point. If Morikawa had birdied one more hole, I was watching him down the 18th being like, just put it close, just put it close, just put it close. And then he put it like at the back of the green. And I was like, oh, come on, Morikawa. Give me a break.
He just didn't have his best stuff on Sunday, did he?
It just didn't come together, did it? I mean, to be fair,
it gave me hope. I was watching it like, well, Chris is there's no competition there. I've got him. Morikawa's not making the charge. I thought, here we go, but not quite.
When he started with a birdie as well, I thought he's going to come and roll him today, and then nothing really happened. So, yeah, Tim, how did your team do? You obviously won, so give us the winning team for a slice of golf. By the way, what position did you finish in the Sunday Red League?
15th. So it wasn't a glamour week for the three of us. Let's be honest. So the big numbers for me came from Cam Smith doing the business. I think it's like the first time I've managed to get him in my team, and I've been wanting to get him in for absolutely ages, and duly repaying the faith. Our boy Zalatoris yet again turning up, although we've now kind of figured out, I can't remember if we talked about this before or not on here, about why he has to keep turning up every single event.
We haven't talked about it.
Chris, I'll let you come on to that in a bit. So Zalatoris, Brian Harmon, again, finishing 13th. And the key for me was Matthew Naismith, who managed to finish tied for 48th, but his 4 under and getting 65 points was probably the deal clincher for me, from kind of, because you need your points to come from your outsiders. So yeah, Naismith was the key pick for me this week.
Yeah, nice. And
Patrick Kazai we won't bother talking about.
Yeah, Kazai. Yeah.
the mate cut king did not quite make his cut this week. So the value that we were talking about, great value. So we all got him in our team. Turns out it was pants. Yeah, I kind of spoke about it last week. I didn't really have a justified reason why I picked Tyrrell Hatton, and it was between Tyrrell Hatton and Cam Smith, and then I was going to shape my team around that. Needless to say, I really regret that. I've backed Smith pretty much every week, had him in the team. For some reason, fancied a change. Shouldn't have done that. Stupid. Literally had nothing to base it on, and it ended up costing me. So yeah, picked Hatton instead. Corey Connors had a great tournament. I did feel he was going to win the overall thing. If I'd have been a better man, I would have picked him to be the outright winner. So for him to come in tied fourth, it was well worth the 9,300 for Corey Connors. And as I said last week, he's glorious to watch. Just such a beautiful golf swing. So yeah, you always want players that you enjoy watching play. It just helps, right? So watching him play, the little golf I actually watched this weekend was good. And then Scott Piercy, my real scraping the bottom kind of budget pick, actually did okay. I mean, he made the cut. He did what he was there for, and brought home 46 points. Which, you compare that to Patton Kizzire, who again he was another just make a cut sort of guy. There was a difference of 17 points in that. So that enough is alone that further proves the point of getting players through to the weekend is key if you want to do anything.
Yeah, for sure. And then my team,
quick one.
Go on.
Wait. Just before you go into your team, how did the new Will Zalatoris, Adam Hadwin get on, Chris? Right, just to reiterate what we said last week. We're looking for the new superstar. This is the man to watch this weekend. Just let us know how he got on.
He started strong. plus five on day one. So yeah. Don't worry, I wasn't going to blow past that, Tim. I was going to bring that up. Don't worry, you didn't need to ensure that. Adam Hadwin was he's been playing really, really well. And obviously I put a curse on him. And then I watched him on day one. His score went +1, +2, +3. That's what I was like, please stop. I was like, stop bleeding. He ended up on +4 on day one. However, saying that, on day two, he hit 4 under. And he ended up on more points than Patton Kizzire. Sure, he still missed the cut by 1 shot, but I was like, okay, he's clearly got a good round in him. Just what on earth happened on day one?
I swear there was a lot of that this weekend of just players that went like even, and then the following day shot 6 under, and then the next day kind of went even again. Just a lot of inconsistent scoring.
There was a lot of it. I was going to bring this up. I saw it quite a bit where it was like there was a few players that were like 3 under, 2 over. And I was like, it was just what day did you have your shit day and how shit was that day? Like even Morikawa, 6 under, 3 under, 4 under, +1. Like, I know I'm not expecting all under par round, but it was just interesting that everyone had one not so good day, and it would just happen to be which day was that on, because that was whether you made the cut or not.
Yeah, I was second after day one and feeling like, the king of the hill. And next time I checked my phone on the Friday, I was in 18th.
Yeah.
What is going on?
Mad. So the rest of the team, I also had Patton Kizzire, who missed the cut. So that's 2 players that missed the cut. Then I had Colin Morikawa, who up until day 4, I thought this guy's he's the only one that had a chance of catching Stuart Sink.
Yeah, I was a bit. I know, but butting in again, I was a bit worried for a sec because I thought we can't have you lose 2 players to a miscut and still lose. Yeah, I don't think I'd hear the end of it. So.
Yeah, and then Will Zalatoris, Brian Harmon did really, really well, and Chris Kirk with hitting some really good form.
Great pick.
He had all 4 rounds under par, 1 under, 4 under, 3 under, 4 under. So ended up on. It was my best scoring player. So finished tied 7th, the same as Morikawa. So yeah, he played some really, really good golf. So that was cool. Obviously, still took the big L, the loss, which if I have a look at our standings means I think I'm still on 5 points. 5 points. Tim makes it up to 11, and Ben on 21. Yeah.
Crikey.
I was going to say this verges on embarrassing, but I should have said that about 4 weeks ago. Yeah, I need to get some points. I don't know what I'm doing. So
stop picking rogue picks.
Stop picking shit players. Yeah. Yeah, that would be the tip. Anyway, moving on. moving on to this week, we have got who's that? Someone's just said only 2 missed cuts would be surprisingly good for me this week. I can't actually see you. You're coming up as Facebook user rather than your actual name, so apologies. Now, moving on to this week. This week, I messaged the guys the other day, being like, just to let you know, different format this week. And Ben responded with, yeah, it's funny, isn't it, how we slated the PGA for not having enough variety in team formats, etc. And all of a sudden we start seeing more and more different formats pop up, which is great. In our defense, this one has only been around for 3 years, I think. So it's not like it's a long-standing competition.
We can't claim that they introduced it because of us.
We can't claim that, no, unfortunately not. But this is the Zurich Classic taking place at TPC Louisiana, and it is a team-ish format. Players turn up in teams of 2 in pairs. 160 players start 80 teams, and only the top 35 and ties go through. So we're looking at 40% of the field, which feels like a big cut. Like I know it's not that much different to half, but it feels like a big cut. So there's going to be a lot of miscuts going on. And when you look at the lineups, you're a bit like, I don't know who to pick.
Well, that's the thing. Looking through it, you start scrolling through, you're like, oh yeah, there's quite a few good players there. But then you realise they're all partnered up with each other. They're not like separated in one superstar with someone. Yeah. You know, they pick their own mates, basically.
Yeah, they do. Literally. I believe that they can literally just pick whoever they want to play with, and they go for it.
You very quickly run out of players that you've actually heard of. You just get down like, oh shit, where am I going this week?
There's actually quite a lot of Corn Ferry Tour players, like the sort of the level below PGA coming up and through, which is interesting. So the format is as follows: round 1, they play best ball, which is where both players play the hole, and then they take the best score. And round 2 is foursomes, which is alternate shot. So if it was me and Ben tees off, I take the next shot, probably from the trees somewhere. Then Ben hits onto the green, and we keep going until there. So that's how that works. So, there's various different strategies which I don't have enough information and stats wise to look at. But you could be like, right, which 2 players play a similar style of golf, which are going to hit the similar distances, things like that. Or for round 1 best ball, you're looking at birdie fest from one player, and hopefully you've got another player that can just crack on and take par if the other player balloons it out at some point. So, and then it repeats itself. Round 3 is best ball again. Round 4, alternate shot again. On DraftKings, for those of you who logged on, had a look, it is a bit confusing. I think this is the first time DraftKings have done a contest for this. And what happens is you basically pick one player from the team. So you can't have, for example, Ryan Palmer and John Rahm. They are last year before's winners. Last year's event didn't happen. You can't select them both. You just select one. So you select John Rahm, and you get whatever score their team gets. Even if Ryan Palmer gets the better score, that points goes to John Rahm. So you can only pick one from each pair. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So with that in mind, Tim, I'm going to come to you first. Who have you got in your lineup?
I haven't got a clue what I'm doing this week. I'm going to be honest. I haven't got a clue. You know what? I'm just going to run through them because I'll live with you. Limited amounts of research have gone into this week, just because not huge amounts of information easily accessible. Anyway, here we go. I've for the kind of the top 3, I've kind of thought about form and actually, people playing together who I think will probably go quite well. So, number 1 pick, Cameron Smith and Mark Leishman. Love this Aussie pair. Reckon they'll play off each other well. They're both playing well at the moment. Both had really good finishes Masters recently. To be honest, they were straight out of the bag for me. Didn't even really think about it. Popped them straight in. Second pick, similar vein. I've gone for a pair of South Africans. I've gone for Louis Oosthuizen and Charles Schwartzel.
Okay.
Again, both playing well. Both did really well at the Masters. Pretty much all I've got to go off on that pair. Third pairing is where it starts getting a bit fruity from here on in. I'll level with you. So I've gone.
Tim, pause. How much are those? So Cam Smith and Leishman, how much?
11.1.
Pricey. Okay, great. In next.
Oosthuizen and Schwartzel at 9.4.
Okay, so a bit of a drop there for missed out the 10s. Okay, fine.
You have to. There is no physical way you can have 10s and 11s in there. I've tried. So third pick was Wyndham Clark and Eric Van Rooyen. Now, this is a bit rogue, just because Wyndham had an absolute shocker at Harbour Town at the weekend. But that aside, he's generally a pretty consistent golfer. He doesn't have too many disasters in him, so I'm going to put that one down to a bit of a blip and kind of forgive him that one. After here, it gets very fruity. So after here, I've gone Sepp Straka and Josh Tita.
Great.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Sure. So I read it.
Always a good sign when you've got absolutely no idea how to say their name.
No clue, but I did do a bit of reading, and these two have been tipped as an outsider pick by actually a few different sources. So there you go. Bit of free information from me to you there.
Great.
Next pick was entirely based on one of the picks, because I know absolutely nothing about the other one. Matt Jones and JJ Spawn. This is all based on Matt Jones.
You put Matt Jones in. I love that.
Based on the Honda Classic and the Masters.
Yeah.
And final pairing was Jonathan Vegas and Andres Romero, who have made a few cuts.
Possibly.
that's kind of all I've got.
I have to admit, I loitered over Vegas for quite a while, just because he just gets a bit of airtime, doesn't he? Yeah. You see him every now and again pop up in tournaments. Yeah, I quite like that team.
All right, okay. Ben, who have you got on the lineup?
Yeah, so it was I didn't put them in the team just based on recent form and the fact that last time I put Tony Finau in there, he ballsed up. I think the most exciting pair to watch for the weekend for me, if they are both on, is Cameron Champ, Tony Finau. They just absolutely smash the ball miles, and they're exciting to watch. Didn't put them in the team though, but it'd be interesting to see how they get on. I was similar to Tim. There was absolutely only one way I was going with this. I didn't put him in last week, and that was a mistake. Gone back with Cameron Smith. I think he regretted that last week, and him and Leash, I think they're going to win it. That will be my shout for the week. Coming in number 2, I was surprised they were as cheap as this, actually, because Sung Jae Im is probably one of the most consistent golfers, on tour, really. And he's paired with Ben An, who on his day is a pretty solid player. So they were at 9,100. So they were like my second pick down. Number 3 was Fratelli and Streelman.
I looked at them.
That's a good pick.
Yeah, I looked at them a lot. Several times I clicked on them and I was like, "Oh, draft, maybe draft."
Yeah, I think they're just the two players. They're not the sexy, glamorous name, but they just seem to get it done. They're always thereabouts. So I thought put those in. Now is where it gets to the I've got some allegiance to them because I put them in my team once. So they're gonna hopefully it's just a collection of players that did me a week job once, and we're hoping they get back. So someone who we spoke about did well last week. I've had him in the team once, and I believe it was for the Phoenix Open, in which he actually missed the cut. Is Naismith and Seifert. I've had Seifert in the team as well, so I was like, I've had both of those as just make a cut. So we're hoping they do the same this weekend. They were 7,500. Then I'm keeping Piercy in the team from last week and Akshay Bhatia, who have had him before. Again, if he's on, he could be a great pairs player because he can hit it a long way. He's quite exciting, attacks pins. That's 6,900.
Can I just say, I hovered over them for a while, and the only reason I didn't pick them was because I was convinced you'd pick them. It's literally it. I was like, Ben's going to have them on his team. I know he will.
Yeah.
I want to go elsewhere.
Yeah, I like Bhatia. I like Gankus. So it was like, we'll get him in the team, and Piercy will just keep him along for the ride. And then the final one, it literally came down to right, whose name do I recognise? Who have I heard of before? Just find someone, get them in the team, and we won't worry about the partner. So I went with Hubbard and Kaplan for 6,400. There was also out of all of the people that are valued at tuppence, who's the best, or who looks the best on fantasy points per game. So that rounds out the squad for this week.
That's decent.
I like it. Ben, I feel like you and me have had a fairly similar strategy, and I think we've just picked like one team above or below each other on this process, because all of those people that you said, I was hovering over thinking, oh, shall I not? I like that team as a result, because I think it's very similar setup and structure to what I've done. Which gives me a little bit more confidence this week. So in number one, I've got the same with you guys. I think they're going to win it. Cam Smith and Leishman. As soon as I saw it, I was like, that's a strong side.
They've got everything to go and win this. And on top of it all, like, they're really good mates as well. So you would like to think that sets up for a good week.
Yeah, and that is actually part of the reason I had my second pairing, and that is Max Homer and Gooch coming in at the second. Just Max was saying that he played. When was it that he won? He was like, "Oh, the final day was with Gooch, and I was just having a great day." And I was like, "Brilliant! Like that's fantastic! Like you're going in as a team immediately." But they were 9,900, which I thought was a bit punchy. But I'm happy with that. Now the next one is a bit controversial. He's had an up and down ride on the Slice of Golf teams. Did really well to begin with, and then has gone fully off Tim's radar. And that's
Amazing.
Oh, brilliant.
Jim, and I don't know how to pronounce the other guy's name, Sue, S-U-H. Now, actually, looking at like Doug Gim loves a birdie, and the other guy loves a par. So my thought process is if Doug
That is the biggest load of waffle I've ever heard.
No.
You're finishing last this week again.
That's why you're bottom.
That pick stinks.
No. This is okay. Well, this might be the case. I've gone through for the remaining three. Those three, top three, I was like, okay, I saw those and I was like, I like those pairings. The next three, I've gone through and gone, I want a birdie fest from one person, and then I need the other person to play consistently. Because if one player's getting a birdie, and then that's great, and then on the next hole he blows out and hits it OB. As long as the other player gets a par, I'm happy. Now that's my theory. Like it's match play golf. Right? You just need your partner to recover you. So I've gone through for Matthew Naismith and Seafoot as well in there. I think they're a good pairings. And then these two, literally, Ben, were one above yours that you were talking about. Keung Hun Lee and Kyle Stanley coming in next at 6,000.
I lost all faith in Stanley after we went so heavy that one week on getting him in the team, because all he does is make cuts, and then he was rubbish.
Yeah, he was rubbish that week. I haven't even looked at his stats from then, but thought, yeah, you know what, at 6,900, I feel like that's okay. And then it got to the point where I was doing what you were doing, Ben, and I was scrolling through going, recognise a name. Harry Higgs and Gellerman. Gellerman is a Corn Ferry Tour player, so I appreciate this is a long shot. But again, based on my strategy of Harry Higgs, by the way, if you look at his stats, absolutely loves birdies, also absolutely loves bogeys. He's literally like ends up on level par. But this is my theory. If he can crack out birdies and his mate can pick up pars, I'm all over that. That for me is...
but I think the problem is he's also playing against the best players in the world who also love birdies. And
Sure, I appreciate that. But that's my lineup. So we've got Cam Smith, Leishman, Homer and Gooch, Gim and Sue, Naismith and Seafoot, Lee and Stanley, Higgs and Gellerman.
So you're putting up a goose egg again this week, unfortunately, pal.
I'm just not convinced by your picking logic. I mean, when you're saying like one player loves a birdie and another loves a par, we all love birdies and pars, pal.
Yeah, no, but what I mean is they get a lot of birdies. Getting a lot of birdies is good in this week.
But they obviously don't get any more birdies than any of the players, otherwise they'd be winning, wouldn't they?
Yeah. No, but some players do take more birdies, but they also take a lot more bogeys and double bogeys. This is my theory.
Yeah.
You heard it here first, sports fans.
Nice one.
I hope I get a point. I'll take a point. I'll come second. I don't care. I just need to get some points on the board. So that's our lineups. I'm really looking forward to this format. Are you guys excited by this format? Have you seen it before? I have not watched this event before.
No, I'm pretty new to this actually. This is a bit of a new one. Certainly can't remember ever seeing like better ball on the PGA.
No, definitely not. By the way, have you seen some of the other pairings? Rose and Stenson feel like that could be a great fun pairing. Although it could be. Faris, you haven't picked your man. Højgaard's out here.
I know. I did see that, and I scrolled past it, and I off the top of my head can't remember who he was with, but it wasn't like a name that I thought, he's going in the side for that, not for the price it was anyway.
Yeah, fair.
No, I think this is I'm interested by this and kind of interested in what happens in the fantasy side of this. This is the first week that I've had a screenshot message from my brother saying, "Who the hell do I pick?" Like I've got no idea. When we have. So you two will both know, we're very competitive with each other. And if he's trying to get clarification from me, then I know it's quite an interesting kind of dynamic with this tournament. Because it's if you've not picked your team yet, you'll have some fun trying to fill out that side with one that you're pretty happy with. That's for sure.
Yeah, 100%. It's mad when you first log in and start scrolling through, and then you're like, oh yeah, I like them, and then you realise you've got through your whole budget and you've only picked 3 teams, and you're like, yeah, okay, that's difficult. Okay, great.
Yeah. I'd recommend having enough battery on your phone for plenty of Googling this week.
Yeah, for sure, and refreshing the app for sure. I've actually brought the charger down next to the sofa for golf watching purposes, so that I can refresh the DraftKings app thousands of times. I don't know if we're full yet in the league. I think we had a couple of spaces left in the $2 one. I realise it as we're recording this, it's only Tuesday evening, so there is still a whole nother day to go. But if you want to get in on that, I'm pretty sure I put the link, 4 spaces around. I put the link somewhere around wherever you're watching it. If you're listening on the pod, head on over to the Sunday Red League on the DraftKings app, and you'll be able to enter the contest there. Obviously, also the free league. Do you guys enter the same teams in the free league? Like, do you just copy and paste, or do you not even bother entering the free league?
I pretty much just pay the money leagues.
Yeah, I've forgotten to enter a couple of times after it. But yeah, I always pick the same team.
So this week
because it will happen. Because it will happen what happened Masters weekend in another league of mine. Some of the boys wanted a 20 quid league, and then we've got our standard $5 league. One of the lads had 2 different teams. It was the better way round for him, but he came top in the 20 quid league, came bottom in the $5 league. And there's 10 people in that league. Imagine if that was the other way around. The paid league you enter in, accidentally put your crap team in. I just think, just put the same team. Then
Yeah. See, in the free league, this week I put 6 different, I think it was maybe 5 different players, almost ended up on exactly the same amount of points. I was like, this is ridiculous. I was like, I'm equally shit no matter who I pick. This is ridiculous.
I just strongly feel that there is going to be one week where you do that, have 2 different teams, and you go and win the free league, and then just do the same in the paid league, and you'll be pretty pissed off with yourself for that. So risky business.
I appreciate that, yeah, for sure. Awesome. All right, well, let's leave it there. We're about to go and record the other pod, which will come out a couple of days later. No, one day later, because we're already on Tuesday. So we're going to go do that. Everyone else, we'll catch you later. Bye.